Today's episode is brought to you by the Clackamas County Winter Fair and Holiday Market. Lights, holiday treats and crafts, festive cheer, and of course, Santa and Mrs. Claus. Fridays and Saturdays from December 2nd through the 23rd, 5 to 10 p.m., only at the Clackamas County Fairgrounds in Canby. Tickets and information at ccwinterfair.com. This episode is also brought to you by Canby Foursquare Church. Since 1978, a place to grow, connect, and serve. Sunday services on campus and online at 9 and 11 a.m. Learn more at canbyfoursquare.com.
Welcome to Now Hear This Canby,
your source for news.
The threat of a possible teacher strike was avoided this week.
There's a new, irresistibly cute creature winning over fans, and its name is Scootaloo.
Sports.
It's like Lucy in the football. You want to kick a field goal, but they take it away from you.
We had to learn how to win.
Goal can't be in the last second of the game! And interesting conversations.
Because I'm one of the strongest girls ever, and I know that for a fact.
I just really enjoy writing gossip as if I was a bear.
With an old maid daughter that make the best moonshine in the coast.
And if it would have hit me in the face, I think I would have died. I really do.
I guarantee you would have died, man. Are you kidding me?
Welcome to Now Hear This Canby podcast. Thanks for listening. I'm Tyler Clausen, and this is what's happening this week in our community. Officials have issued an urgent weather warning for Canby and the surrounding areas in the days leading up to the Christmas holiday, which are expected to deliver possible snow and ice and the coldest temperatures Western Oregon has seen in nearly a decade. Temperatures are expected to plunge into the low teens or colder Wednesday night and stay cold through at least Friday morning. Thursday morning will likely bring the coldest temperatures since 2014, according to the National Weather Service, with lows of a chilly 13 degrees Fahrenheit predicted in the Portland and a frigid 9 degrees in Hillsborough. Low temperatures of at least 10 degrees below freezing were predicted throughout the Willamette Valley and westward. Prepare now to protect people, pets, and livestock and plants. The NWS advisory warned, have your emergency kit ready. Beyond the cold itself, impacts of the wintry forecast could be significant icing, with total ice accumulation of up to half an inch predicted. The icing could damage trees, bring down power lines, and make area roads dangerous for commuters and those planning holiday travel. As a proactive measure, the Clackamas County road crews began 24-hour emergency coverage starting at 4 a.m. Wednesday, December 21st, with 4 anti-icing trucks pre-treating emergency routes around the clock. If you're driving in the Mount Hood area, do not park along county roads, county officials advised in the news release. Roads are narrow, and parked cars can make it impossible for plows or emergency vehicles to access the roads. With thermometer readings plunging into dangerous territory, overnight shelters will be opened throughout Clackamas County, including Canby at Zoar Lutheran Church, 190 Southwest 3rd Avenue from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. A meal will be offered after church activities. Dog on leash and small pets and carriers are welcome, but confirm with staff. For information, call 503-266-4061. Shelters are also available in the Malala Hope Center, 209 Kennel Avenue, and the Father's Heart Street Ministry in Oregon City, 603 12th Street. Call 503-722-9780. The Canby Public Library, 220 Northeast 2nd Avenue, is also available as a daytime warming center during normal business hours whenever temperatures reach 35 degrees or lower for a maximum stay of 2 hours. For a complete list of daytime warming centers and other information, visit clackamas.us/relief. On Wednesday morning, Canby Mayor Brian Hodson warned of the wintry weather forecast and urged those who are able to consider volunteering at Zoar Shelter. If you are feeling inclined, please reach out to them and help, he wrote on Facebook. This is an incredible community service they provide. Thank you in advance. Merry Christmas. Other tips and precautions from the county include staying warm inside your home by using heaters specifically built for indoor use. Do not use outdoor heaters, portable generators, barbecues, or your oven to heat the inside of your home because carbon monoxide can and will kill. "'Tis the season to be jolly, but not reckless." So says area law enforcement agencies that are planning increased holiday patrols in the coming weeks to crack down on impaired drivers. The holiday season is a busy time for the roads. The Canby Police Department said in a Facebook post this week, to keep drivers and their passengers safe, Canby PD will participate in nationwide traffic safety campaigns to remind drivers about the dangers of drinking and driving. Canby Police plan to conduct high-visibility enforcement operations from December 12th through January 2nd to keep impaired drivers off the road. Other local and regional law enforcement agencies have also announced crackdown operations and shared similar sentiments this week. If any of your holiday celebrations include alcoholic beverages and going out, designate a sober driver. Use an Uber or Lyft, or have a friend on standby. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office said on Facebook, "Whatever you do, do not get behind the wheel impaired." The Sheriff's Office campaign starts Thursday, December 15th, and also runs through January 2nd, with deputies using federally funded overtime hours to conduct enhanced enforcement targeting impaired drivers. Funding comes from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, administered by the Oregon Department of Transportation and Oregon Impact. The Marion County Sheriff's Office will also have additional deputies on patrol this month. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 32 people in the United States die in drunk driving crashes every day, the equivalent of about one person every 45 minutes. In 2020, 11,654 people died in alcohol-impaired incidences, a 14% increase from the previous year. New cars in Oregon and Washington have to be zero emission within the next 12 years, after new state regulators on Monday followed California's lead in approving a rule banning the sale of new gas-powered vehicles by 2035. The Oregon Department of Environmental Quality said a release that all new passenger cars, trucks, and SUVs sold in Oregon must be fully battery electric or plug-in hybrid electric or fuel cell cars, a concession intended to give flexibility, especially for those who live in communities with fewer charging stations. Used vehicles, including fully gas-powered ones, will not be affected by the ban, even with the stricter rules and uptick in EV sales. Oregon regulators estimate that at least 65% of vehicles on the road in 2035 will still be powered by internal combustion engines. All those living in Oregon will benefit from the cleaner air and improved public health outcomes achieved by reducing pollution from transportation, said Leah Felden, DEQ's interim director. This is especially true for low-income and underrepresented communities across the state who live closest to roadways and have been most impacted by poor air quality. The changes are part of the effort to hit Oregon's climate change goals, which are among the most ambitious in the country, of cutting emissions in half by 2035 and 90% by 2050. Officials have placed a heavy emphasis on electrifying the transit sector as the path to reaching the state's lofty emission goals, saying transportation is the country's largest single contributor of greenhouse gases, accounting for 27% of emissions in the U.S. Transportation also makes up 37% of Oregon's carbon emissions, which makes it the largest source of emissions in the state, according to DEQ. Curbing transportation emissions is a significant part of Oregon's comprehensive plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, Governor Kate Brown said, calling the new rule a major step toward meeting our goals. Oregon continues to see the consequences of greenhouse gas emissions across the state, with extreme heat, more severe wildfires, winter storms, flooding, and prolonged drought, and I am committed to addressing the climate crisis with urgency, Brown said. To support the increased number of electric vehicles on the road, the Oregon Department of Transportation has committed $100 million to the construction of new charging stations over the next 5 years. The department aims to place these stations in underserved communities in rural areas and throughout major transportation corridors. Oregon automakers have 2 years to meet the first compliance steps for model year 2026 cars. The state said some manufacturers have already confirmed efforts to increase the production of electric vehicles. Oregon's action on the climate crisis follows several other states, particularly California, which in August voted to ban the sale of new gas-powered cars by 2035, despite being the second largest consumer of gasoline in the U.S. Other states like New York have announced their own gas-powered car bans, while Colorado announced this month it plans to boost EV numbers without an outright ban on gas-powered cars. Republicans in the Oregon House and Senate were quick to criticize the move, saying it will harm the state's economy while making a negligible impact on the emissions. This is the latest out-of-touch example of what our state agencies and commissions have become, said House Minority Leader Vicki Breeze Iverson, Republican from Primeville. Once again, as Governor Brown's days in office are winding down, she is working to solidify her progressive legacy without being held accountable. While this decision will disproportionately hurt working-class Oregonians, it also ignores the unrealistic and short-sighted goals of the battery-powered manufacturing industry. Students are getting creative in a brand new learning lab at Lee Elementary School in Canby, whether it be programming robots, connecting circuits, or building with Play-Doh. School officials say there's hands-on learning fun for all ages in the new makerspace. Makerspaces are creative zones where students have the ability to explore, invent, troubleshoot, collaborate, and take risks, said Natalie Betcher, the district instructional technology support specialist who took the lead in selecting supplies for the new space. The large flexible learning room boasts modern circular light fixtures along with windows and doors so students in the community can see the fun learning occurring inside the classroom. There are tackable surfaces, pegboards, and whiteboards. There are sinks and the counter space for project work and specialty equipment. Malum Architects designed the space based on input from teachers across the district. Architect Abby Darcy and teachers wanted maximum flexibility, balance between specialized equipment and multi-use supplies, and dedicated project storage. The learning room provides all that and more, thanks to the funding from a bond voters passed in 2020. One of the goals of the bond was to expand educational opportunities by remodeling or building new spaces to support increased K-12 hands-on learning, STEM, and vocational programming within the school district. While the space itself is funded through the bond, the tools were made possible thanks to a contribution of district funding and a grant from the Canby Educational Foundation. Betcher was able to fill the lab with the best hands-on tools after visiting several area makerspaces for inspiration. The result is hands-on tools like Play-Doh, Magna tiles, Keva planks, Legos, sewing kits, fabrics, hammers, screwdrivers, tape measures, and more. There are robots like the Code and Go mouse for younger students and Dash robots for the older students. There are snap circuits, copper tape, LED lights, and coin batteries. The lab even has its own circuit smart cutting machine and 3D printer. Teachers can lead students using a challenge card to spark an idea, or they can plan a lesson to build on something that they have been working on in science, social sciences, or other subjects. For example, maybe they're learning about earthquakes in class, but then they get to go to the learning lab to see that they can build a Lego building with a partner that would withstand an earthquake, Betcher said. Betcher and other specialists have spent time leading student sessions in the new space and supporting teachers as they learn to navigate the new tools they can access. In the future, the district hopes to extend similar learning tools to all of its elementary schools and provide even more hands-on opportunities to help prepare students for secondary school and beyond. Hey, Frankie, what's up to?
Intruder! Alexis, call 411!
Who's Alexis?
Oh, it's just you, Tyler. Sorry about that. You know, the days are getting shorter and darker, and before you know it, 6 p.m. is gonna feel like midnight, and with the holidays coming, Christmas deliveries on the way and all, I've been getting more security conscious, and I guess it's just making me a little paranoid.
Yeah, so that's what all this is. Looks like quite the setup.
Oh yeah. We decided to really invest in a top-of-the-line Wi-Fi connected video security system. Just one little problem.
What's that?
Well, just look at this. We tested it out during Halloween, and look how grainy and pixelated the video is. Everybody looks like Minecraft characters, and only a couple were actually wearing Minecraft costumes. This is supposed to be 4K high-def video. I know, you're gonna say it's my internet service provider like you always do, but I made sure to place my Wi-Fi router in a central location, and I think my download speeds are decent.
Oh, Frankie, how many times have we got to go over this? You always focus on the download speeds, but it's the upload speeds that really matter here. When you've got cameras that are uploading data to your smartphone app through the internet.
Oh, I guess I should just hope I get robbed by someone wearing a Minecraft mask.
Sure. Or you could just switch to Direct Link, where they have internet upload speeds up to 10 times faster than other local providers.
Oh.
For uploads at the speed of security, visit www.directlink.coop/internet or give them a call, 503-266-8111.
All right, on the Canby Conversation today, we are so delighted to be talking with Jason and Tara Hood. They are the founders and directors of the Hannah Grace Family, a nonprofit organization in Oregon City. Hi guys, how are you?
Doing good, thank you.
Thanks, Tyler. Doing well.
Thanks so much for being on the show. So tell us a little bit about your organization, which you started, correct me if I'm wrong, around 30 years ago or more than 30 years ago.
Well, we've been married for 31 years.
Oh, that's where I saw that number. Excuse me. That's right.
Yeah, that's okay. Yes, we've been married 31 years.
But you have been fostering children and whatnot for about that same amount of time.
About 11 and a half years we've been fostering.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You've been
So
mentoring families for about 30 years. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, throughout our lifetime of doing different, things with, yes. So
We've been in the Oregon City area for about 23 years now. Our kids have grown up. Two of our adult kids are married and live in Canby.
Oh, cool.
And we've been fostering for 11 and a half years. And with fostering, pretty quickly just found a lot of the families in and around the foster care system really need an extended family to be a part of their life. Sometimes they come from backgrounds where there just isn't stable family. Sometimes there's just been some hard times that they've gone through. And sometimes when things are done or spoken by people that aren't related, there's something maybe more powerful about that, because they can't just say, well, you have to treat me that way because you're related to me, or because it's your job or you're paid to. So we kind of saw this need, and not just in the kids, but in even the adults all around us. And so after a few years, we had lawyers, caseworkers, a judge that had all asked us if we could start a nonprofit to do something bigger. And we're always scrambling around doing so much as is, but we had a lawyer that ended up writing up all the 501c3 paperwork for becoming a nonprofit that believed in what we were doing. And so now we, just a couple of years ago, we got a building in Oregon City right next to Jimmy-O's Pizza. Nice. Where we're able to do a lot more and do things in bad weather and not so much of just doing things through our home. So that's been a great blessing.
Awesome. Yeah, well, we've got some bad weather coming down the pike from what I hear. So that's good news that won't impact you guys as much.
Yes,
can you,
for sure.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the mission of Hannah Grace, kind of what you guys seek to do with the families that you work with?
Well, with so many of the families and kids, there's just trauma and instability surrounding their lives, and trying to bring stability to their lives. And maybe the first and most important form of that stability is just relational and trust. And if you have a family that's kind of broken up, if there's distrust within the family because of things that have taken place amongst family members, if there's been abuse, trauma, addiction, different things that can lead to differences that begin to rise up in families, and sometimes unforgiveness. And so trying to build relationships where trying to help others recognize the importance of stability, and that our bodies are always seeking stability in our mind. Whether we're really cold, our body wants to bring stability. If we're lacking in sleep, our body wants to bring stability. And sometimes we get used to living lives of a lot of instability. And especially for little kids, it's a traumatic thing, always having their life up in the air. And so we really try to be and offer stability through relationships and trust with the families and kids that we work with, and hope that that's mentored also, that they recognize, and it's something that they kind of begin to live as they're experiencing what we're doing and how we're living. One of our mottos that we use a lot is restoring and cultivating hearts by redefining the value of life in children, mothers, and families. That so often we define ourselves and have an unhealthy self-image because we really define ourselves based upon how others have treated us, things that have taken place to us. And so we don't see ourselves in a very healthy way or worthy of anything good.
Yeah.
And so when people come around that really are strangers, and begin treating you in a respectful, encouraging, loving way, it begins to redefine what a person's appropriate value is, and then they begin seeing that their life could amount to something more beautiful than what they have experienced or believed it would come to. And they then start living in a different way themselves also, just because others believe in them and others are speaking highly of them, and they feel like there's a support system, but a support system that it's a healthy one, and it's, as close as possible to just being a family that builds you up and encourages you and gives you advice that doesn't have strings attached, that's trying to get something out of you, but wants the best to come out of your life in every way.
That sounds awesome. Tara, what's your kind of role in all this, or what do you see as the work that you guys do through this organization?
Well, we're definitely, Jason and I are very much of a team. we go hand in hand, but
absolutely,
I think we offer a lot of things at our building. We offer music lessons for kids that are guitar and keyboard lessons that we do
cool.
once a week for them. And so Jason can tell you a little bit about that part of it here in a little bit. And then we also just had signed a contract with DHS that we got certified to be able to oversee visitations with kids and parents, with the parents that that have lost their kids to the system.
Okay.
And so we're there to help with, they call it family time now. And so I get to help oversee those visitations, and DHS is able to use our building also and overseeing those, and we're at the building. But I think what's so cool about that is because they're coming into our building, it's not the typical DHS family time. I get to be there and be around the families and love on them and be able to encourage them. Just that's the part of the mentoring part, is just loving on them. So it's not just telling them, this is what you're doing wrong or correcting them, but it really is just encouraging them and loving them. And I love that part. And they don't just go home. A lot of times with the DHS or with other, things within the system, it is part of their job. So like it's a 9 to 5, parents can't really contact them outside of that.
Yeah.
But for Hannah Grace, they totally can be able to contact us outside of that visitation if they need help or they just need someone to talk to. And obviously you're building that trust, it's not an automatic thing that takes place, but it's building that trust over time. And that's what we did in our home. When we had the foster kiddos, we just loved on the parents. We took them, to the park or to the zoo, or we did things with them as a family. They often came to our home. And again, we're not talking like right off, we built that trust up, but they would come to our home, and I was able to help teach some of the moms how to cook or do laundry or just that multitasking, the tasks that you think that we all take for granted, but a lot of times parents didn't grow up in the best atmosphere, and so they don't have some of those skills, those basic skills that need to be. And so I think at least my role in that part is a lot of both parents, but specifically the moms, being able to just befriend them. And one of the really neat things is, in the midst of all what we've been doing over all these years, is I have some really great friends out of these parents. Like I still keep in contact with them right now. I have some really amazing friends that they're just a part of who we are. And I speak very highly of them. And people always think, well, you do so much for families. And I always tell people, I was like, the reality is the families do so much for us. Like, I think that they build me up, they build my husband up, and my grown kids, 2 out of the 3 of them, my daughter, she and her husband, they actually foster also, and they do very similar what we do, but they do it in their own way. It's their own twist on how they do it. And our middle son, he He supports, him and his wife support Hannah Grace financially. They love on the parents, but they're more involved kind of on a church side of doing ministry that way. And then our youngest son, our youngest adult son, he actually is greatly involved within the guitar lesson part of it, and loving on the children during that time, and the parents too, but specifically the children. So I love that our kids grew up in that, and they all have a little hand in areas of our ministry. So it's not just Jason and I, but it's my grown children that are very involved too. So we are so very proud of them, and so very thankful for them too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Getting in on the family business, as it were.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we also have 2 little kids too. We have a 4 and a 5-year-old because we ended up adopting. So we're actually starting life all over again.
Oh my goodness. Bravo.
Yeah.
That is, I feel like we could do a whole nother interview just about that and how that's going. So that would be fun.
Yeah.
But this really began, and I know you kind of mentioned this earlier when talking about the history of it, but with the foster children that you guys took in and raised, and just kind of over that process, learning that you wanted to kind of do more with that you wanted to, where possible, kind of reach out to the parents and bring them in, kind of minister to them, and even in some cases from your website, kind of mentioning that you tried to help them restore custody or restore rights and things, if that was something that they wanted and was possible. That's I'd love to hear more about that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, that was our whole, when we started fostering, we love the little kids, and they obviously come with challenges. They've been through a lot. But we saw the need for the parents, just how much that they needed support and love and mentoring. And so I think that that's kind of where it started. And starting from there, we just had a lot of families that we were staying connected, because when the kids, we try to help restore that and to reconnect if possible. And again, as we all know, not all cases are going to turn out that way. But with kids returning back home, that is the best, if it's healthy and if it's good, that is the best scenario, is for kids and parents to be reunited. But it's not just the reuniting part that's really key. It's the part in that mentoring ahead of time, but it's the after. When the kids go home, how do we stay connected afterwards? How do we still have that support system? Because a lot of times, they have resources that when they get kids back, then everything just kind of dropped. But they need that help and that support and that love. Those kids need that love and that help and support after that reunification. And so we've just always done that. That's something that we're very adamant about, staying connected afterwards. And even with my daughter and son-in-law, they had a little guy that returned back home, and Josh and Whitney visit the mom often. She's doing amazingly well, and they have extended, the little boy has extended family that comes up, and they all meet up in a motel because they're from out of town, out of state actually, and they have a really big party, and Josh and Whitney are always invited, and it's just an extended family, which is really cool. So I feel like that's the part. Do you not think you agree? Yeah.
It's easy to describe what we do as a program, because almost everything's a program of 30, 60, 90 days,
right,
12 months. But really we're not a program, because we're really just trying to be relational. We're trying to be a family, and people graduate from a program, and then they're just kind of out on their own.
Yeah.
And we all know, no matter who we are, that we just need people that care about us and want to help walk beside us, especially through hard times, but through good times also. And we need people that we can people that will walk with us, and people that we can walk with to love others and to be loved by them also. Is things that just in human nature that we need. So there's not like a graduation from a program or something, because what we really want to help facilitate is long-lasting relationships where there's trust and there's ongoing family that are there to invite over for the Super Bowl or the holidays, or when they're going through a hard time to discuss something that's going on. That's something that some people have a large family tree and a large healthy group of people that are always willing to pitch in and help. And for some people, they don't have that. Many of the families that we work with, there's been death in the family. And sometimes it's the dad, the mom, and there's a single parent now, a grandparent that's raising children. And there's just, the families come from such differing backgrounds, but all in some way just needing a larger group of people that care about them and want to help them be successful as they continue in life.
Ho, ho, ho! Nobody does Christmas like Canby, and the Clackamas County Fairgrounds and Event Center is proving that this year with their spectacular 3rd annual Winter Fair and first ever holiday market. On Friday and Saturday nights from December 2nd through the 23rd, celebrate the festive period at the Clackamas County Fairgrounds as you've never seen it before. Decked out in a carefully designed half-mile holiday walkthrough experience featuring more than 200,000 lights and show-stopping animations. It's the best of both worlds with top-of-the-line, cutting-edge LED technology and music combined with thoughtful and artistic tributes to our most time-honored and beloved country and Christmas traditions. New this year, the holiday market will showcase more than 25 local crafters and vendors, offering one-of-a-kind gifts, souvenirs, and delicious treats you can't find anywhere else, along with the best school choirs, bands, and other regional entertainment performing your Christmas favorites each night to ensure the perfect festive mood. Round out your trip to the Winter Fair with a visit to Santa's workshop to meet the jolly old elf himself for family photos every day of the fair until 8 p.m. Tickets are on sale now, $10 for adults and teens and $5 for children aged 4 to 12. Parking and children 3 and under are free. For tickets and information, visit ccwinterfair.com. Happy holidays to you and yours, and a very Merry Christmas.
That's what's so cool about our music program that we have. When Jason first brought it up to me about starting this music program, I was like, you're crazy. We're so busy as it is. Like, why would we start a music program? And so, but he was very, very sure that we were supposed to do that. And I was like, okay, well, you gotta take the reins and go, because I'm not sure. And so, but it has been one of the most coolest things ever. He was totally right in that. And so I'll let Jason say a little bit about what we do, but aside from the program itself, the thing, seeing kids be successful and being having confidence. But again, we get to hang out with family, like the parents, the guardian, the grandma. It could be a foster parent. It could be, there's a variety of different, people's overseeing those children. But we have round tables that we set up, and we have snacks and drinks, and some of our table group times, we actually get in trouble by the instructors because we're laughing so much, and we're having such a good time. We're always getting told to hush. So, but it's just the coolest thing, because again, you're interacting with adults, with the parents, with people overseeing those children, and it's been really cool. But I'll let Jason kind of say a little bit about what the music program specifically does.
Yeah, please.
The longer and longer that we've been doing what Hannah Grace Family does, we've asked ourselves more and more, if these people were really our own kids or our own family, what would we do? And often we give second best when we in some way donate or volunteer. But if we're asking ourselves, if this is really my own family, how would we want them to be provided for? How would we want for them to be loved? And so the thought of having a music program, which is something that usually you, in this day and age, you have to have pretty good finances, because even schools charge additional money for instrument rental and different fees. But for kids to be able to learn an instrument, and what we do right now is guitar and keyboard. And not only is the learning of the instrument therapeutic, but it really challenges the mind to begin working in different ways that are beneficial academically and socially, and just getting the mind to work in a different way. But the music program, we have 3 different group classes that meet on Wednesday that are all keyboard classes, 3 guitar classes that are all on Thursday, where there's instructors, volunteers. There are instruments that are checked out to the kids with a 1-year agreement that if they take this instrument home and they practice and they come to the lessons at the end of the academic school year, that instrument is gifted to them.
Wow.
So very often the kids come from backgrounds where affording an instrument, isn't something that's even available to them. They're all brand new instruments. They're not toys. They're not starter instruments.
Yeah.
They're something they can be proud of. They're a name brand, and they're a good sounding instrument. So they're given everything to be able to succeed, or getting quality instruction where they're just learning more and more. And it's valuable to their self-esteem, to making eye contact with everybody. There's never a cost to the kids, the families at all. It's all of the finances are met either through donors, volunteers, monthly givers that give to Hannah Grace Family, and through grants that we apply for. And the need is huge. Our program could be hundreds of kids. Obviously, we really try to advertise only through a whisper, because we don't want to be turning people away.
Yeah.
But there's such a huge need for things like this for families and for kids. But we always the finances have to come first to be able to purchase the instruments and everything to meet the need. So that's kind of a little bit of a nutshell of what the music program is. So we also began with some smaller kids classes, which are more sensory therapeutic. They're little handbells and drums and marching around and singing and facilitating that time. Right now, the one class that started is 3 to 5 years old, and there'll be another class starting up also.
You guys don't get enough of that at home with your 4 and 5-year-old, or?
Right. People like the keyboards because you can plug earphones into them.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And then nobody even hears anything when they're practicing.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah. I can see the appeal of that as well. Well, that sounds awesome. Yeah. I'm just kind of thinking as we're talking, like this is all a program that and what you do is something I would love to hear about it and have you guys on the show at any time of the year. But as you kind of mentioned around the holidays and whatnot, with the time that we happen to connect and be talking right now, do you find that this time of year there is maybe more of a need, more of an interest, just kind of maybe having some of these tough conversations about reconciling or revisiting past hurt, or just, the need to maybe move on and see people that you haven't seen for a while is maybe just a little easier? Those conversations are a little closer to heart and a little more present this time of year than maybe other times when distractions can get in the way.
Well, I would say that holidays, just like for any family that gets together on holidays, sometimes there can be strife. And holidays can be a triggering time also for people that have gone through traumas and hardship and instability in their lives, where for others it's a time of great rejoicing and celebration. To some, it's a reminder that they're not celebrating right now. So it can be a hard time right now. So my wife is always texting and messaging with, especially some of the moms, and they have a couple of different support groups that are in addition to some of the other things that we offer that are just trying to, facilitate the friendships and the relationships and getting together and being able to talk about some of the things that they're going through and share successes and hard times that they're going through, and times like this during holidays, sometimes that's more necessary than at other times.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point that, and I didn't mean to sort of gloss over that, because I know that is correct, that, yeah, the holidays can be a really tough time for people as well. But that also is maybe a time when the work that you guys do is more needed than ever.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time here, guys, unfortunately, but I'd love to give you a chance to share how folks can find out more about the programs you do, or if they potentially might know someone or might have need themselves to check you out, how they could do that.
We have our website, which is hannahgrace.org. So they can go on there. We also have our Facebook page. It's just Hannah Grace Family. And we do more of our social media on there. So that's always something we are always welcome. People can contact us if they want. We have phone numbers on there on both sites, but if they want to sit down and have coffee with us, or just be able to talk and learn more, if they want to see our building, we'll totally give them a little tour of our building. We try to make it very a home-like setting. It's a commercial building, but each room is kind of designed more of like in a home. And so that's really, really a neat thing. It's different, and everybody comes in and is like, oh, this is not what I expected. So we love it. So yeah, those are the two areas where they can definitely contact us, and we will get back to them. So yeah.
Awesome. Last thing I wanted to ask, I meant to ask earlier, but I just remembering it now, but where does the name come from, Hannah Grace Family?
Hannah means grace. So it's really a double portion of grace, or almost sometimes I say a conspiracy of grace, where we're trying to, with families, it's easy sometimes to look at someone and see how God has been so gracious to them in the family that they've been born into. And for some people, it seems like life has been so easy. And for others, at least on the surface, it hasn't been that. And so really just trying to make sure that those around us know that they're valuable, and that the grace of God would come to each person in one way or another. Some it comes just into the family that you're born into, and things just go, relatively smooth, and you always feel stability and love in the place you were born into. And for some, it's not like that. And there's a lot of other hardships and things like that. So it just means grace.
I think that's awesome. Very cool. Well, Jason and Tara Hood, thank you so much for taking time out today and talking to us. Their organization, again, is Hannah Grace Family, and hannahgrace.org is their website to check them out. Thank you, guys. Anything else that you wanted to share before you go?
No, I think thank you, Tyler, for allowing us to connect with you. This is all new to us. We're kind of like oldies in this, so that all these podcasts and like social media is all this newfangled stuff that we're really like uncomfortable. So we're trying to get used to all of this.
You did great. I could hardly tell. You seem like old pros at the podcasting. So,
well, thank you.
With an emphasis on old.
Not at all.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
very much.
young pros. So. All right, you guys. Well, thanks again. Take care and Merry Christmas.
Merry
All right,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So thank you so much.
Tyler, did you know that the Australian lyrebird can mimic any sound that it hears, even chainsaws?
No, that's super interesting.
Did you know that a baby puffin is called a puffling? Or that baby sea otters can't swim, so their moms wrap them up in pieces of kelp until they learn how to paddle?
Wait, do you know any trivia that isn't like animal related?
Not really, but here's some stuff you may not know about the Wild Hare Saloon, where Canby goes to eat and have fun.
Okay.
The Wild Hare is one of Canby's longest running locally owned restaurants. Owners Joan and Darren Moden have been in business for 16 years.
That's cool.
Heck, you were just a baby back then.
Wait, what?
And they love to give back. They've been members of the Canby Chamber for that long, and they donate over $20,000 to local sports, FFA programs, and civic organizations each year.
Wow, I'm legitimately caught off. That's cool.
Yeah. They also support more than 30 jobs in the community through their award-winning staff, some of them as young as 18. Hey, that's older than you are.
Dude, I'm 10 months younger than you.
With the days getting longer and the weather getting warmer, the Canby Wild Hare's expansive outdoor patio is the place to be. Furry friends welcome.
Well, that sounds great. I'm going to go check them out just off of Highway 99E next to the Space Age in Canby at 1656 Beaver Creek Road in Oregon City, or on their website at thewildharesaloon.net. Now Hear This Canby is produced by me, Tyler Clausen. Our content director and star reporter is Tyler Frankie. And of course, our show is edited by Cameron Clausen. We also feature the vocal talents of Joyce Struby and James Walden. So a round of applause to them. The song that you're hearing right now is Canby by singer-songwriter Olivia Harms, used with her permission. To find more work from her, you can visit her website olivia13.com.
Now Hear This Canby is dedicated to preserving independent local journalism and redefining local news with our fun, fresh, and energetic brand of storytelling. Our sincere thanks to our local sponsors who make this show possible. Please show your appreciation by supporting the small businesses who support us.
The production of Now Hear This Studios, Canby's locally owned full-service audio, video, and media production company. Our mission is to produce the best content in the universe, and we'd love to help you do it. Find us online at nhtstudios.com.
I will take a motion to adjourn.
I just moved it.
I didn't even ask for it, though.